What do you think happened to my last relationship? Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Welcome to the story time.
Yeah.
Which now seems like some kind of fixed time in the week.
It's a Wednesday. We need to find a name. Wednesday something.
This is how you know you're messy. When you always have something to come and be like, girl, let me tell you the tea.
This is a zero sugar grapefruit black tea, and I'm gonna try
grapefruit
to put it with this, like sparkling water. Alors, first, it's a nice color.
So, Kunsama? No, why? Why the face? Why?
Taste first.
It tastes like medicine.
Medicine! Exactly. So yeah, that's not.
Yeah, let me that. Is this lemony or peach?
It's peachy. Please!
It's giving aqua fresca.
Wow.
If you have to think that much.
But, yeah, because it's watered down a lot. But I don't really taste the sparkling.
Oh, that's much better.
That's much better than whatever that is. This tastes like syrup.
I told you zero sugar was disgusting.
No, I mean, it's like syrup. It needs to be watered down.
But I think it also because the zero sugar has a
distinct
weird
taste.
Aftertaste. Yeah. Anyway, we're not here for a bartender class. We're here for story time.
Hey.
And we're just gonna get into it. Like, we're not even gonna waste no time. The last story times were a bit long because we were like extrapolating. But we're gonna stick to the story because it was a little cray-cray. Actually, there is a debate behind this. The vulnerability of women and age.
Wow, that's a lot. What?
Society using age as a weapon against the gender.
You're doing the most.
Ooh, but you'll see why I say this.
Okay.
Anyway, so those of you who don't know the premise, I watch a lot of shows on Netflix, Korean shows where people send their stories to MCs. So these are real stories, and the MC like learn about it, and a drama is made about the story. So it's usually real stories made into like a drama. So it's a little dramatized, obviously, and then the MC gives them advice. It's mostly dating and marriage advice. The story that I watched last night, I was like screaming. It starts with, obviously they put the context, so they always kind of set the main character, so the person who sent the message, and this is an older woman. She's in her 40s, right? Okay. She's 46 to be exact, which matters. So she's 46 and she is a musical actress or something. Like she works on musicals, she dances, she sings, whatever. And at the end of one of her shows, she receives like fans and everything. And there's this like particular guy who says he's like a big fan of hers, blah 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 blah. Now this guy is 32. He's like our age. He's 10 years older, like more than 10 years younger. Yeah, younger than her. And he comes to her shows and he's like, yeah, I'm such a fan, da 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 da. And he asks her out on a date. Now, mind you, the reason I was saying my crazy titles earlier is because like in Korea and also in the rest of the world, there is a big there's quite a stigma on age. And it's not just for women, honestly, but it's a little harsher on women. Like as soon as you hit 30 in current age, which means you're really 28, right? But people already start like making comments about like,
ooh, how come you're not married yet? Like da da da, like your beauty will fade away.
Girl, I look better than I used to look at 22, let me tell you this. In this world, in that drama, basically, this is kind of belief. So she's like, a man 10 years younger than me who's interested in me, oh my god, like it's like a crazy thing happening to her. All her friends are extremely jealous. Even the girls like that are younger, the guy's age, are like, oh my god, he's so handsome. So he's known to be this handsome guy. You know who plays the guy? The same guy who was with the lady who wanted a baby. Yeah, it's the same guy. He always plays the pretty boy image. So they're dating. You know, she's narrating the story and she's saying how like she's living again. He makes her feel younger. So you can tell like there is like a big impact on her life. She's like, yeah, he changed my whole life, blah blah blah. And then we see them at a motel, and obviously they make sure to mention the fact like, oh, like he's also like good in bed and stuff like that. So she's like very happy, right? So at that point they're like laying in the bed and he's like, literally that's what he said, and I'm translating. He was like, honey, I think we should break up. I'm like, what are your first senses when you hear that?
Wait. Is that the first time they had sex since?
No. It was just they're having sex, and then it was just one of those days they were just laying there.
Why? Just that would be like, why?
My first thought was, I feel like gaslighting is incoming because he's gonna. I don't know what the hell. I didn't know what he was gonna say, but I was like, that was so sudden. It feels like you rehearsed it. Like, why would you just be
thought
like,
about it before?
we should break up? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
what
sure.
the fuck do you want?
Why?
So she's like, why? Like, what are you talking about? Da 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 da. And I heard them words before, honey. But he was basically saying, no, you know, I'm 10 years younger than you. Obviously, we're not in the same place in life. And we already talked about that.
Yeah.
We're not the same place in life. And honestly, I don't think you deserve to be with a guy like me. You deserve someone who's like already established. There's nothing I can do for you, honestly. And I'm like, stand up, man. At least you're telling the truth. Like, all right, cool. If that's the case, if this is how you feel. Because obviously, he didn't have a job at that time.
No, okay. My first reaction to this is something I hate. You cannot tell me what I should do or what is better for me.
Girl.
If you believe actually this, that you don't feel comfortable enough because you don't feel like you do something enough, say I. Not you should not.
Yeah.
I don't like
Let me
being,
decide.
Yeah. No, don't put things in my mouth, in my head. I hate this. So if you said you deserve better,
then wait
say
until
I'm not enough. Like I. Don't put you.
Like you should break up with me.
Oh my god, I hate this.
Yeah.
I will break up with you because I don't feel comfortable in this relationship.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not bringing enough to the table.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
it.
well, let me do devil's advocate though. The way he was saying it was obviously, he was using arguments that for me in Korea make sense. And he was basically saying like, your parents are never gonna let a guy like me marry you, which was true. They were not gonna accept because
She's
he doesn't
40
have
though.
the exactly. But
she
does
still
it
care?
care? But does it matter here? Come on.
At 46, does she still care about what the parent thinks to marriage?
Well, that's what she said. She was like, I don't care what they say, but I think she really did. You know why? Because she basically proceeded to tell the MCs, and I literally rolled my eyes so high. Basically, she convinced him. She was like, no, like, we can't break up with this. Like, it's my choice to be with you, like you said. And then she went and she sold an apartment that she had and a bunch of her properties, and she opened a restaurant for him to his name.
Oh god, if she's dumb, she's dumb. What can I say?
No!
No, but like, this is your choice. Like, you want to choose to
You
be
want
dumb.
to be dumb?
You want to choose to be dumb, be dumb. But at least you have the choice to be. He told you, He told you, listen, you shouldn't do it. And just say, fuck it, I'll do it. Well,
So technically, wasn't he right?
he was right.
She doesn't have the capacity, obviously, to make certain decisions. So he had to make it for her.
No.
And she said no, and now look what happens.
Well, consequences.
Consequences to your actions. That's crazy to see. Oh my god, you're a terrible influence.
Where? Why?
Why would you? Nah, like,
What would be the right thing to do then?
she should have listened to his ass, and they should have broken up.
So if a guy comes to you and says, you should not date me, and you like,
What do you think happened to my last relationship? I laugh now. I wasn't laughing. Dude, that's exactly what happened to me. He was like, I can't make you happy.
It was different.
It was
different.
Let me not diss my ex over here.
I cannot say too much.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
not do
remember
that.
what you
Let's
said,
not even
but
talk
it
about
was
it.
different. It was different.
But let me not.
You know, I don't.
Let me not diss my
I
ex.
tell you why it's different. Cut.
Anyways,
Okay.
just to get back with the story, I have an older woman. She's in her 40s. She meets a young guy, and everything is going well until he tells her, sorry, I can't take care of you. I don't have, the capacity or the financial status. And he wanted to open a restaurant, but he wasn't there yet. So she decided to, sell her things.
Wait, are they married?
No. She decided to sell her things and sell a whole apartment, mind you. Do you know how much it is to buy an apartment in Korea? She sold it, and then she opened a restaurant and bought him a restaurant and the building and everything to his name in order for her parents to accept.
To accept what?
She made him a restaurant
enough?
owner. So now, without telling her folks, and that's why I'm telling you, she doesn't necessarily not care, because otherwise she would have said something. But no, she went behind their back and she did that.
She crazy.
The property that your parents have worked hard to give
Blood,
you,
sweat, and
and
tears,
you go and give it to the next man.
The next man.
To his name. What is the his name for me? Wait, my wig is sliding off.
Her wig is coming off.
Her wig is coming off. Her wig is coming off.
This is wild,
They get married.
Ah.
Fast forward,
But it's still in his name.
It's still his name. They put 1 year later, they're married. She's happy as can be, darling. She's happy as can be. As they go, they meet each other's friends, whatever. Actually, not each other's friends. He meets her friends, but we'll come back to that. Anyway, one day she meets with one of her onnies, her friends, who wasn't able to make it to the wedding because she was busy, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, I cannot wait to see your husband. I heard he was so handsome, da, da, da. They meet the guy, and then obviously you have the scene where the lady's like looking at him like, everybody's like, are you all right? She was like, you know me, right? And the guy is like, what? No, it's my first time seeing you. She's like, no, we've seen each other before. And he's like, no, I have never seen you before, but nice to meet you, da 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 da. And her friend is like, maybe, you know, you saw the wrong person. And then they move on. The wife, she remembers this interaction from the afternoon and even that night. Like, she can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
So she asks him, she's like, you sure you never seen my friend before? Like, she seemed so sure that she knew you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, if I tell you something, will you still love me? I'm like, oh my fucking god. This is what happened when you marry a dusty dude.
The fear I would have at that moment.
Oh!
The fear, Bridget. My heart would be like, fuck. Fuck, my whole life is about to change, yeah?
So she's like, of course, I love you.
I do not.
Tell me. So he's like, yeah, well, before I met you, you know, it was really hard. I didn't have a lot of money, so I was trying to make ends meet. He gave her a whole bunch of excuses about how his financial status was not, like, up to par. And so he admitted to her that he used to work at a host bar. Now, for the other foreigners who probably don't know what a host bar is, or even if you do and you don't think it's a big deal, in Asia, like Japan and Korea, hostess bars and host bar are basically a place where if it's the host bar, women go. It's like a lounge somewhere in like Gangnam or whatever area, and all the women there are clients, and then there are usually younger men who come and drink with them, pour them alcohol.
Do they go all the way?
That's what I was gonna say. So I just watched a YouTube video on the subject because I wanted to know more about this Japanese host, and I watched a couple of videos, and basically they say they don't go all the way. They always say, oh, we don't go all the way. It's just we make conversation. It's like escort. They always say it's just conversation. We don't go all the way. So the answer is we don't know. Like, I'm sure case by case there are people who are willing to pay for different services. So I don't know. But the definition is you go to a lounge where you have this younger person pour alcohol and like talk with you, and it's the same for hostess bars. And in Korea it's quite negatively viewed, basically, because it's like, ooh, it's almost like sex work, but we don't really have proof of it. So anyways,
what's funny to me is that means that the friend went there. If she knows him. How do you know him exactly? Where do you go on your free time?
And I think it's quite funny that like clients are not seen any negatively, but the people who work there, it's like, you worked as a host. Oh my god!
If you were not their client, I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here. It's supply and demand. He admits that to her, and she's like, oh,
really?
Because here again, for us, we're
was,
foreigners, but for her, it was like, oh my god, what?
Would that bother you?
I don't care. I don't care. However, I only not care because I'm a foreigner and I don't actually grasp the cultural significance of it. If my
Korean
husband was like, and he was like, I work at a place, I would literally, for once, I would listen to what, like, not listen to what other people say, but I would go like to my friends and be like, what do you think of this in general? Because for me, it's like in any different societies, like French, American, or Korean, or Japanese, there are people who are like not law abiding, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna live based on like my culture and what the norm is. Now, I'm not saying you have to always follow the norm. I'm just saying like people who usually go out of their way to be outside of the norm, it's not that they're bad people, but it's like they don't really have this like idea of, oh, I just want to be like the peaceful, like one, like the everyman or whatever. Okay. So I'm like, what else are you gonna overlook?
But if it's specifically because he had a hard time, it was money related. It's easy to say no. You have to obey the law when you have no problem. But when you have like a difficult lifestyle, you know, I don't have money. I don't have a choice right now.
When I tell you the end, you will understand how that's not a good excuse.
Okay.
Especially if it's financial. Because not really. But anyways, she's really shocked. Her friends are like, how could you marry such a guy, blah 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 blah. But she's like, you know what, he's a good guy, he's good to me, he loves me very much, so I don't really care. So at the end of the day, she lets it go. She's like, all right, he told me the truth. And I was like, okay, cool, he told you, he didn't lie. He told you immediately. He was like, that's probably how your friend recognized me, because I used to work there 5 years ago, but after I decided to marry you, I decided to completely give it up. Which means that when they were dating, he was
Dating?
still there.
Yeah.
But nobody said anything about that. But anywho, I was like, okay. Fast forward, they're living their nice little life. He's at the restaurant, and then one day he invites his wife, and he's like, I have somebody to introduce you. And there's another young guy, visibly his age, like his friend. And he introduces him to the wife, and he's like, yeah, like, we're gonna go into business together. Like, we plan on opening whatever shop. And she's like, oh, 갑자기? Okay. Do you have the funds for that? Like, okay, cool. And he's like, no, but I thought that you could be our partner. I'm like, this is when I started smelling that smelly smell, that smelling. I was like, oops. She kind of like brushes it off, and they go home, and he's like, so what do you think about our plan? Like, are you gonna like invest in our thing? And she's like, you know, I don't have the money for this. Like, I don't have the money. Like, I gave pretty much everything to open this restaurant for you, and now you want me to invest in like your project. I don't even know who that person is. Like, I don't know this guy, and you suddenly want me to give you money? Like, what? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, turn around, doesn't touch her for like days and stuff like that, and he starts to like ignore her and everything. I'm like,
Wow.
gaslighting.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay.
Gaslighting. So she's trying to like mend things with him, and he's like, but I can't believe, if you love me, I can't believe like you love me, you say you love me, but you're not even willing to help me. Like, I'm trying to like go ahead, I'm trying to make some money, you're not even willing to help. And she's like, but I don't have any money. He was like, well, can't you like sell another apartment? And he's like, what other apartment? He's like, oh, was that it?
What?
Was that who? Was that what?
Wait, now I'm wondering, does that mean that since the beginning you were just on the hunt?
What do you think?
That's it? Did he confirm?
That's my theory.
Did they confirm that? I mean, in
Well,
the story.
Let's continue then.
Well, damn.
He's like basically gaslighting the fuck out of her, and then the next scene you see, this is where my blood started boiling. She goes to her mother, and she's like literally like begging her for money. She's like, yeah, I have to do this. She lies too. Like, she never said it was for him, but she keeps asking him, and her mom is like giving her like her last, like she gives him like an envelope, and she's like, no, you should do this. She's like, okay, thank you. And then she goes ahead and like tries to give it to the guy, but I think she changed her mind, because at the end she went back to the car, and he was like, so did you get the money? Like, literally like a fucking like hyena. And she's like, no, I didn't tell her. And he's like, what? You said you love me, goes off on her. And then literally that night he's like, so I'm gonna come home late tonight, so don't wait up or whatever. And basically he starts like not coming home. He's just like spending the night outside. Literally disappears. Like, he disappears for like 2 days. She's like, what the hell is going on? She calls her friend. She's like, he disappeared. He left the house. We had a big fight. So what if he went and did something stupid? Like, in her head, she's still thinking like he loves her so much. Like, he's so sad that they had a fight that he went like somewhere and like did something stupid. Please. Anyways,
I'm pretty sure he did something stupid. It's not because of
it's not what you think it is. So they look for him, and they end up like finding one of his friends, and they follow him to a host bar. It's like a new one, which is even worse in my opinion, because it's like you're in a new place now. They find him like casually just drinking with some other lady, and then the wife confronts him. Obviously she's like crying, screaming, everything. Oh my god, get ready for the next scene. But anyways, she's crying like, how could you do this to me? And she turns to the other lady, as if that's the other lady you need to worry about. She's like, he's married to me. And the lady's like, okay.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Everybody's like, what? Like, the MC is like, is she crazy? And basically,
who's crazy?
The MC says like, is the lady, the client, crazy for being, no, the client, for being so brazen about it. She's like,
it's not our problem.
She's like, what the fuck? Basically, they reveal that getting married is just another part of their scheme, basically. What they're selling is not just alcohol. Not only do they like pour your alcohol and everything, but they basically pretend to be like your girlfriend, and like you're buying their affection. So basically their whole business model is to go to older women who are desperate and basically give them romance. And the guy's like right here, just in front of everyone, just explaining to them. He was like, what did you think this was? This is a business deal. If you don't give me money, I'll go somewhere else. But you said you love me. He said that. He said, don't give me your stupid emotions. Give me something tangible. Give me money. What are you talking about, love? And she just like, I was like, my jaw dropped.
You cannot be that evil, can you?
He said it was business, honey.
That's insanity. Don't play with people like that.
Yeah, she's like, you're lying. I don't believe you. Like, we were in love. Da, da. He was like, listen, I'm not going to tell you again. You're supposed to give me something tangible to make up for that love. I'm not just going to give you, like, love for you. What are feelings? Feelings, what are that for? And he's walking away with the other lady. He walks away, and literally she's like, how much? That's when I was like, all right, I'm going to head out.
No.
This is what you call low self-esteem, girl.
No. I can't. No. Brigitte, no. No, because after that, what? So now every month he's gonna have a salary and he just stays at home and he'd be pretty over there? That's the whole thing?
He walks away with the lady, ignoring her, and she literally falls to her knees, Lucy. She falls to her knees and she's crying. That's how
sad.
Embarrassing it was.
That is sad. That's not even embarrassing.
That's the end of the episode. Like, her question was, what should I do? Girl, are you serious?
Get a freaking therapist. That's what you should do, because this is not correct. You cannot live like this. Low self-esteem. Plus, combined probably with the aging, as you said, also.
The way that they use it against you?
Yeah. The fact that she feels very old right now, probably, and she's like,
and now she's
my
married
last
to
option.
him. Like, how do you even get a divorce? But how do you get a divorce?
Why not?
Because he's gonna ask you for coin now.
And he has a restaurant. That's disgusting.
Thank God to his name, so it doesn't even belong
That's
to you.
disgusting.
Thank God they didn't have kids. Because she was trying to have a baby as well.
Oh, God.
To answer your question, yes, that was his plan from the beginning. He just wanted somebody to sponsor him, and she thought it was real love. There is even a scene where he's trying to teach his hube, like a new guy in their club or whatever, hosting, and he was like, yeah, you have to do this, you have to buy them flowers, you have to do... Like, it was terrible. Like, literally preying on older ladies and... Yeah.
Vulnerable older women. Terrible. Trash. Scary too, to be fair.
So yeah, obviously all the MCs were like, get the hell out of this situation, get a divorce, maybe sue him for like... Because I think you can sue for scam, but I guess you have to have certain kinds of proof, and she willingly did all these things for him. So it's like, how do you prove that you were not...
She said.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's very scary.
Yeah. I was like...
So sorry, madam. Sorry, lady.
Like, I don't have a problem with host bars. I think you can go if you want to, but be careful not to confuse love and material things.
But she didn't even go to the host bar. That's the thing.
No, she didn't.
So she wasn't even impacted by
He
this.
just, like, literally preyed on her.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, she's a rich single lady, let me...
Where did he find her again?
He used to go to her representation.
So he just like, oh!
He was sort of like, oh, she's a celebrity. Let me find out if
must
she
have
has
money.
money. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Y'all need to be careful.
Again, every time you tell me these stories, my faith in humanity... Every time, a bit more.
Yeah. It is what it is. Let us know in the comments what you would have done. Every time I'm like, let us know in the comment, it makes me laugh because I'm like, what else is there to say? Like, this is trash. Let us know what you would do if you were the lady. I'd love to know your opinions on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, be careful out there. Them trust issues are through the roof. And we will see you in the next video.
Bye.